Hey, what's happening, guys? Dan Dario here with another Options and Play video update. So, beginning of October, we are very close to earnings season, though not quite there yet. The unofficial kickoff will be in 2 weeks, the banks. So, as we get into October here, even though the calendar this coming week won't be too busy, we are in a period where you might see some unscheduled guides. Also, a stretch that I really like to start game planning. So whether that's just getting like a idea of who's reporting the following week, or start to get like those ramp into the report trades set up. It's like a nice little period where you can really start to like dig your teeth into upcoming quarters, because we're getting close enough where some stocks might start to react, or you might see some stocks see some positioning into earnings. All right, so um, we'll see how the week plays out. In terms of what's on the calendar, though, nothing on Monday is nothing scheduled after the close on Monday. Napa, wine company, great name by the way. Pricing about 325. Those are monthly options, so you have an extra week of time. It hasn't been too volatile of an IPO since its debut, and it hasn't really been much of an earnings play either. It does look okay technically, but it's probably not something I'm going to be involved with. Um, a bigger wine or booze name, Constellation STZ, reports later in the week, and that might be more of an earnings play. Before the open on Tuesday, Pepsi. So about 375 is what's expected here. I had a decent quarter back in July, a nice little run after it, but it's not really a stock I trade very often. Um, if it is good again and it can get a decent pop, maybe I'll look for maybe like a quick momentum play right after. But I don't think I'm going to take any options into earnings. Also, there's been some like mixed numbers and staples with some of like the inflation pressure. So I'm kind of curious to see what they have to say. After the close on Tuesday, nothing scheduled. Before the open on Wednesday, a couple names. So AYI, about 15 and a half points. Those are monthly options. For most of the past few years, you could set your clock to AYI having a big move on earnings, and normally it was more than what was priced in. Recently, it's been a little bit less consistent, but does have a pretty nice like few month range, and if it can resolve the range, it could have a pretty strong move. Plus, again, historically, it's a name that moves around earnings. Um, the options to me, they're not cheap, but they're not really crazy expensive, especially for a stock that has occasionally had some big moves. So if I can get risk down, maybe I'll look at a cheaper strangle just to see if it can resolve the range. Um, STZ, so this is what I was just mentioning. About 9.5 points is what they're looking for in this one. The alcohol, booze stocks, beer stocks, I mean, they've really all been acting pretty weak recently. STZ's in a steady downtrend. Uh, it didn't have a large move last earnings, but the quarter before that, actually the 2 quarters before that, it did. Chart seems to indicate lower, but maybe like a surprisingly strong quarter could really lead to a bigger move on the upside. So it's kind of a tough call. Chart doesn't look great, but I feel like there's maybe more potential higher. I'm on the fence with it, so it might just be more of a game time decision. I'll see what the option positioning looks like, maybe closer. See if there's like some, if options are really leaning one way or the other. That might push me over the edge on it. For the bell on Wednesday, Levi's. So, oh no, excuse me, after the close on Wednesday, Levi's. About 2 points is what's priced in. Those are monthly options. We've had some good trades on Levi's over the last year, but this quarter is things a little bit tougher, and that's mostly because retail right now is kind of reeling. There's been some warnings and some lousy action. So the chart right now it hangs where it needs to, but also you can see, I mean, if it does start to really break down, there's some room. So um, I'm probably going to avoid it this time, and just see what they say, and then see what the stock is after. For the open on Thursday, Conagra, so about $1.55 ish is what's expected. I haven't traded the staples much recently. General Mills, though, actually had a decent quarter last week, so that might be, maybe a little bit of a read through to Conagra. Maybe these don't really move a ton, though. The staples and option pricing's not that cheap, so I don't know. It's kind of a so-so setup. It's not a great setup, but I mean, if you trade these stocks, maybe you have a better opinion on it. And also Thursday before the open, Tilray. So this one could be interesting. About $1.15 is what's priced in. ACB's earnings weren't horrible, and I guess that's where the bar was because the stock rallied after. So it's kind of hard to say where expectations are for Tilray, but I mean the stock has just been absolutely beaten down. Option pricing not bad. Plus, can move, and it can move, and it can move around earnings too, which is usually a good sign. Um, I think what the biggest question that I have going in is just whether it's going to be a huge gapper because if it gives a shot to get in right after the earnings without a huge gap, then it might be a better opportunity. But if during the week the option pricing keeps coming down and maybe that dips to like below $1 or like even like 90 cents somewhere around there, then I might look at some sort of like cheap volatility strategy. Um, Thursday after the close, nothing of interest, and also Friday, really nothing of interest either. So that's it. A few names, a couple big names, some big expected moves, but really what I'll be watching mostly is to see A, if we get some early guidance, and then B, see if we can start to get some good ramp into the report style setups going because we're going to be into earnings season before you know it. All right. So, if you liked this video and you're looking for more information about trading earnings with options, please follow up with the link in the description of the video for more information on options to play. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay well, and I will talk to you.